out of Gotham, a crazy podcast about DC, with your hosts E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy, and listen to a show that won't be forgotten, coming straight out of Gotham.
The multiverse. Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham, episode 156. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by batman-on-film.com. Check out all the other great shows associated with the network. Please head on over to the VOF, clicking that podcast drop down and seeing what everyone has to offer. I am your co-host from the other side of the Hudson River, senior contributor of Batman on Film. I'm Peter R. Rivera. Today, recording on July 28th, 2024, and we have a great show for you as always. But before we get into the good stuff, I'd like to remind you, all our faithful listeners, that if you take the time to rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts and read your review on air, you win our monthly prize pack. So please feel free to enter that. Now let me introduce you to my partner in crime, the man who just left San Diego Comic-Con as the hot dog eating champion of the convention. Ladies and gentlemen, the glizzy king of the island himself, Eric Goldsman.
Yes, took that red-eye flight to get back. But yes, I'm back.
Did they use Nathan's on the West Coast over there? Or what kind of hot dogs?
Yes, Nathan's was also a sponsor. So
all right, okay, good.
On the low, they were a sponsor on the low, but they were a sponsor.
Well, I'm glad. And how many hot dogs you put down there, champ?
It was only like 25. It was a very small field.
Okay, well, that's fine. You got to, you can
I
only
had to do what I had to do.
You can only out eat your competition, right?
Mm-hmm. And when you're in the 6-year-olds, you're battling 6-year-olds. It's not that difficult.
6-year-olds, okay.
So, yeah.
I guess this is more of like a training seminar.
Yes, it was kind of a I was kind of showing them the technique of how to do this, and then they challenged me, and of course I never backed down to a challenge, so
that's right.
I took it on.
There it is. Okay, well, Eric, fresh out of Comic-Con, probably the second biggest news coming out of Comic-Con this week is Eric just demolishing 6-year-old children in a glizzy eating competition, just throwing them down like the champion he is. Suck it, Joey Chestnut. Go to hell, Kobayashi. Eric Holzman reclaims the title. So
who's the guy who won this year?
Douchey McKnuckle. I honestly don't know. I have no clue who that guy would be.
That was because you remember he wasn't allowed because he's sponsored by Impossible now or whatever.
I don't know. He's sponsored by a rival hot dog company or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so they didn't let him.
That.
They didn't let him compete.
Yeah, so he's like not qualified. He's not in that hot dog league anymore. I know
the whole competitive
I don't know how to
eating
say
thing.
It, but it's actually pretty funny. So
it is. It was fun. When I heard it, I'm like, wait, they're not letting him compete because
what?
He's sponsored by Impossible now, and
yeah.
Okay.
All right, there you go. That's your reason.
You lose your biggest star.
I guess. Hey.
But speaking of biggest stars, a lot happened at Comic-Con.
A lot. Do you want to start with that, or do you want to? I think we should start with a certain duo.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Let's start with our review of Deadpool and Wolverine. We're going to be spoiling, so
yeah. So you would, if you don't want to, ruin the movie, turn it off now.
Yeah. So pause and fast forward a little bit if you want to hear the rest of the show. But we're going to come out the gate with Deadpool and Wolverine. I did a quick in-car review after it on Friday night when I saw it.
Get a quickie in there. Nice.
Yes. So, Pete, you tell me what you thought first of Deadpool and Wolverine.
I've been pretty hyped for this movie, right? I've been on the record numerous times on this podcast saying this is going to save the genre. I think this is going to be a big hit. I think this is going to bring people back to seats. I think people are going to love this. Yada yada yada. To be brutally honest, I didn't really like it.
Okay.
I out of the 3 Deadpool movies, I think it's the third best one. I thought the needle drops were too much. I didn't enjoy them as much as I thought. I thought certain scenes of just random gratuitous whatever Went on for a little too long. I thought Jackman was great. I thought the cameos are great. I had a hard time kind of getting like, I don't know, some sort of emotional response out of this Wolverine. And it seems like a lot of times they tried to remind me of how great Jackman was as Wolverine, but it wasn't this Wolverine, which is kind of like the point of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like in order for me to kind of feel that, like, I don't know, nostalgic, sentimental attachment, you were trying to get me attached to a different Wolverine. And that just threw me off basis. At points, it felt like a really long episode of Loki. Even like there's just, the TVA is a major part of this. I appreciated seeing all the Logan stuff. While X-Men isn't my thing, I caught a few of them as he was trying to find the various Wolverines. I thought that was really well done. I thought the Affleck joke was really great. The cameos are great with Channing Tatum, which at the end of the day is just like, damn it, how did you guys really screw that up? He was really perfect for that role.
He was.
Seeing Wesley Snipes as Blade was great, as was Elektra, Jennifer Carter coming back. But at the same time, it honestly, that like when they're just fighting inside the dead Ant-Man carcass, I'm just like, this is just toy chest dumping. Just it's just so ridiculous. And then I was really offended, to be honest with you, as stupid as that sounds, and as much as Justin make fun of me for it, of just the disrespect of the Fantastic Four, like watching Johnny Storm just get killed like that, and just like what the joke that he literally became, in my opinion, was, as a Fantastic Four fan, it's just like, oh god, that's bad. This is worse than what you did with Reed in Multiverse of Madness, and I actually like Multiverse of Madness. So I had problems with that, and just I kind of thought the plot was weak and the villain was weak, and there's just two other Deadpool movies I enjoy a lot more than this, and which is a bummer because I really hyped this thing up. I was really looking forward to it. I was pumped for Jackman's return, and he, it was great, and just it just didn't work with me. It was just too much. It was a little too over the top for my liking.
It was very ambitious. I'll say that a lot of the ways that they went in the film, it was very ambitious. Like trying to do and fit all those things in. I could see how people might feel that way. I don't know. It just worked for me. Uh, I mean, I think Ryan Reynolds is born to play this role, so
He is great as Deadpool. Yes.
every time I see him in the role, I enjoy watching the movie. I liked what they did with Logan. The beginning when he's he's trying to dig him up.
I
That was
enjoyed that. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And then what he does to the TVA guys with his body and his bones.
I thought that was one of the scenes that dragged on for too long, because I'm sitting there like, okay, keep going. There, another name, another bone. There's how many bones? Like, this is taking forever.
Well, they used it. They used it for the opening credits. So
Yeah, it's just
they had to fit in all the names for people who worked on the movie and the cast. I felt like I know they were trying to tell the story of why Wade was doing this. The one of the problems I had with it though is you kind of lose focus on that as the movie starts going. That's probably one of my biggest critiques of the film. It kind of just becomes about Deadpool and Wolverine then fighting, and
like at some point it's just about them beating the shit out of each other,
right? Like
or just fighting whoever. And then it's just music, and then it kind of felt like a music video, in my opinion.
Those two scenes where they do fight each other were very well done, by the way.
The fight choreography is amazing, but it's just like at times I liked where you said it kind of loses focus of why Deadpool's doing this.
Yeah.
Because and in the end, like, you kind of expected this to tie more into the multiverse in ways. Like, I know the TVA is involved, but it's like it didn't really connect really anything. In a way, it's kind of a standalone movie, even though it incorporates how many different universes
I know
within itself. Like
the montage, the Wolverine montage where he went back, and especially when he found the short comic accurate one, I literally laughed out loud for that.
I loved Wolverine in the suit with the patch. That was great. That was a funny one.
Yeah, I mean, those were very well done. Those things land. All of those things land. But yeah, that's probably the one critique I've heard, and that I probably agree with, is that the story kind of gets lost in all of that. It does kind of come out on the other side because they do end the film like that. Peter in that suit, man, that was
funny.
That was hysterical.
But and I'll say this: it's very Deadpool. Like,
Yes.
there are issues of Deadpool just like this that are just as insane.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was just a little too much. That's all. You
Yeah,
know,
but from the standpoint of it being a summer blockbuster
it's a huge
popcorn
hit.
flick,
People love
yes,
it.
it is a
People love it.
fantastic movie from that regard. And that's the thing I love about it. It's not trying to be something that something else. It's exactly what it is.
I will say and I've said this on I said this on the BOF podcast as well. I'm over multiverse. I'm over timelines. Can we stop now? This is I really think we've beaten this to death at this point. Like honestly, like
It looks like that's the way they're going. So
like can we just? It's so much right now. It's all it is. Like I'm. It's just like come on, man. Like
I know.
everyone has gotten their due at this point. Everyone's come back. Everyone's
That's
come
true.
back.
Yeah, I mean all the
At this
Fox.
point, everybody has come back except for Josh Trank's Fantastic Four. They were the only ones not included in this Farewell to Fox movie.
Yeah. And at the end when they show the clips,
They had that cool montage, which
yeah,
was nice. I
yeah,
appreciated that.
that was very cool.
They were in there, but that was it.
Yeah, they were in there. But it's yeah, I mean, I don't know, it worked for me. Even with the problems I had, the couple problems I had with it, it tied it all up in a nice bow for me. Seeing Wolverine finally wear the mask with the that was fantastic as well. That was amazing. Really enjoyed that part of the film. So, yeah, I mean, I understand the complaints. I do. I hear them. I think they are legit. I don't think people are looking for things this time. The complaints that people have had, all the ones I've heard, I can definitely see where they're coming from. But yeah, it just for me it worked. I had a blast. I was laughing.
And
Um,
I'll say this: I'd still be down for another Deadpool. Like
yeah,
if they when they announce Deadpool 4, I'll be like, okay, cool, I'll see what they do. But
yeah,
like just because I didn't enjoy this one as the other, I legitimately love Deadpool 1.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. That's still the best of the three, in my opinion.
mm-hmm.
Um, I love that movie, but I mean, this one, I think it accomplished what it wanted to accomplish. I don't know what the future is now for Jackman in the role. They leave it open ended at the end, but he does say no at that one point where they're sitting down eating the shawarma, and he gets up and he says no, and he walks. So who knows? But I will say this: next to Logan is probably my favorite performance of him as Wolverine because he's not. He's vulnerable in this one, and he lets that out, and you feel I feel the pain and the story that he's having, and all of that worked for me. So as much as I love Logan, and to me that's his best performance as the character, all the other ones are more on note to what we know of the character, but these two are much more nuanced, and I really really enjoyed his performance. So I if he comes back again, great. It would be crazy. 20th time I think that would be if he came back again. But I don't know. We'll see. The other news that came out kind of lends to a lot of different things. So let's just roll into that one. Obviously, there was the Hall H ceremony last night. Marvel made their.
Was it a ceremony or was it a presentation? I guess it's a ceremony.
I call it a ceremony because all they're doing is, is a presentation, but
I
they're all
guess.
like enjoying and happy, and everyone's thrilled, and so it's a
Right.
celebration for me. That's what it looks like. We got a little bit more about Captain America: Brave New World. A little bit that was there. Um, Harrison Ford was there. He flexed as the Hulk,
Yeah, I saw that.
so that was pretty cool. But obviously, the big news was the end, where they teased that now it's no longer Kang Dynasty. We're switching to Doomsday, and of course, Robert Downey Jr. was revealed as the guy who'd be playing Doctor Doom.
Okay.
This literally broke Twitter.
Did it?
No, it didn't, but it probably could have. I mean, I have my feelings on it.
I want to hear your feelings first.
All right. First, let me start off by saying that I would not have done this. I would have cast a completely different character to play completely different actor to play Doctor Doom. But I understand why they did it. And It's not like they cast some bum. He's one of the best actors on the planet. For me, I think the only thing I'll say is if it's not a variant of Tony, it changes for me because I don't think you can't separate your brain from him being Iron Man. Like you can't do that. So unless they're not going to show his face, or unless it's and if it's not a variant of Tony, then I'm going to be really shocked that they did this. Obviously, he brings people in, he puts butts in the seats.
Does he? Did his like Sherlock Holmes movie take off?
Both of those movies were good.
Did they? I'm asking.
Yeah.
I really don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. I mean,
that's really the only thing I could think of him. I don't know. He was obviously in Oppenheimer recently, but outside of Iron Man, I really don't know what he's done.
Okay.
Other than Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. I mean, he's a very accomplished actor. He's a very talented actor. He has a certain group of fans that are going to come to see his movies because he's one of those actors people will go to see because he's just a good actor. So from that perspective, I think that's the case. One of the reasons why they cast him, or he's coming back. Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of in wait and see mode. Like I need to know more about the story before I can really give a true response. I don't know what they're doing here. I want to be kind of have it explained to me, but I will say this: they are freaking smart for doing it because they knew all of us were going to react to this news. So the conversation was going to start. But yeah, I'm okay with it. Like I said, pending a few things.
It's weird how they would recast Hulk and War Machine, but not Black Panther or Kang.
I know.
Very interesting because at some point it's like they stopped recasting people. I think this is incredibly stupid. I think this is a move of desperation. I've posted in the group. I said it 4 days ago. Bringing Downey Jr. and the old squad, the old All-Star team back is a really dumb idea. I said this on a BOF podcast. If Feige was the general manager of a sports team, he would have been fired by now. Like this reminds me of like when Cashman brought back Tino Martinez in like 2005. It's just like this is like when Pippen signed with the Bulls for a year. Like what are you doing? Like what is it? This is just to sell Bulls jerseys and get people in the seats for a season. I think this is a clear move of desperation. I kind of feel like Feige's out of ideas and he doesn't know what to do. I don't know why they just didn't cast the next great actor. It could have been anyone. It literally could have been anyone other than Evans or Downey Jr., right? Like, honestly. I'm just thinking like, I'm just thinking of like other dead Marvel characters. Like, I was thinking of guys. I was like, Black Widow. Why didn't, like she's dead too. Gamora, I'm just thinking of dead dudes. Well, he's just, I guess he's not dead. He's old. But whatever. Like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, who would they bring back? And anyone. It could have been anyone they could have got to play this role. And I just told you, like, I was upset with what they did with Fantastic Four in Deadpool Wolverine. I'm like, then this guy's, he's not even the villain of the Fantastic Four. He's the overall villain of the universe. So I was like, okay, great. So is he going to be in the FF movie? Is he going to be a small role? Like, is he not going to really fight the FF? Like, okay, he's fighting the Avengers. Well, guess what? To be honest with you, this Avengers lineup sucks. Like, I don't care about these Avengers.
Okay.
Like, it's just like, to me, like, I honestly, man, I'm like feeling like I'm ready to check out the MCU. Like, nothing's really of that interest. Like, what's going on with Spider-Man? Like, that's kind of like Marvel-wise, like, that's really all I
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Yeah. None of this is really appealing to me. The Fantastic Four, the more I find out about it, I'm just kind of like, now I'm all sour on FF. Like, what are they going to do now? Like, how are they, because it's like they're going to do something stupid and explain how it's a variant of Tony Stark. Or I'm with you. You can't separate your brain between him being Iron Man and him being Dr. Doom. I think it's really stupid.
I agree from that perspective. I do. I said I would have cast. That's how I led with because I wanted to make that clear. I would have chosen somebody else.
This is more upsetting to me than Oswalda Cobblepot. Like,
we're gonna get to Oswalda,
which isn't upsetting to me at all, Kowalski. Like, this whole Robert Downey Jr. thing's really dumb. It's just dumb, man. I'm telling you, man. Feige's you'll get this reference, but Feige's Cashman. He probably should have been fired a year ago. and giving somebody a new blood and opportunity, but he's got 15 championships and you can't get rid of him. It's just that's it. To be honest, like that's basically the reason. Feige probably would have lost his job if he was a studio head for any of these other studios a long time ago, if it wasn't for that original Avengers run.
Yeah. And I mean, they just became the first franchise ever to make over like $20 billion, something like that. That after Deadpool and Wolverine this weekend.
Yeah, but it's sometimes like it's just been around forever, and you guys churn it. That's like to me, like when I hear that, it's like they're those. It's like they're it's like the Hall of Famer who played like 27 years and was a stat compiler. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, of course you got all those statistics. You played forever.
Like LeBron.
Were you really that good? Well, if you want to make that case, I would say I would be like Craig Biggio. That would be my argument, where he's like not really a Hall of Famer, but he's got the stats to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, no, like LeBron. I'm joking with LeBron, but he's just been playing forever.
But I'm saying like that. Like if you're into sports, you get these references. If you're not, then it sucks.
I don't know if it's desperation or just the fact that they had to do this. They had to do something fast.
Dude, this is a Warner Brothers move, by the way. We're gonna do something fast. We're gonna do something crazy. Here we go, Robert Downey Jr. It's so reactionary. Warner. That's why I think and we've heard since WandaVision and the streaming days during COVID that the writing room was getting really tiring at Marvel. It was running thin, and people were running. They were stretched too thin, too many projects. And I'm kind of like, I also think they're running out of ideas, man. Like, you mean to tell me this was the best idea to come up with? Robert Downey Jr.? You could have brought Bale back to be Dr. Doom and people wouldn't have questioned it. Because no one likes that movie. But but now it's like, was the MCU anything other than just the Robert Downey Jr. show?
Well, of course it was. I mean,
was it? Because he's back. He's like A-Rod. He can't get out of the headlines. He needs to be in the headlines.
Well, I mean, it definitely gave certain actors more high profile. Like no one knew who Chris Hemsworth was before he was Thor. People knew Chris Evans, but he wasn't the actor that he became after playing Captain America. Like it definitely elevated their profiles.
Yeah, I mean, they were making these box office movies that were just making numbers, man.
So from that perspective, I think the MCU has done a lot for those guys. But yeah, I mean, he was the guy they started it with, and he was the guy that they tied
he ended up being the face of it, and it's like,
yeah, he was the face of it, and apparently he still is. I mean,
I wouldn't have done it. I'm not a fan of it.
It's hard for me because I'm trying to. If I separate it as just him being an actor, then yes, it's a great casting move. But you can't separate it from the fact that he played Iron Man all those years. He's already been in this universe.
And it's got to be Victor Von Doom. It can't be evil Tony Stark from Earth 75.
That's the thing. I mean, the rumors are that it is Victor. That's the early stuff coming out, that he is playing Victor. But for me, weird. that's gonna be not only weird for me, but people who know even less than I do. It's gonna be more weird for them because they're not gonna be able to make that distinction. So I don't know. It's very strange. Again, I'm not at the desperation yet.
The only way this works is if you're right, and is if he never takes off the mask.
Yep, that's the only way it works.
Which is fair, because Dr. Doom never really takes off the mask.
If we're not seeing the beginning phase of the story, then yes, it would work.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm also it's an Avengers movie, it's not an FF movie, so that's also a bummer to me. Like, okay.
Well, let's see.
Maybe he will just recast Kang. I just don't understand.
I wonder, and this is just me speculating, I wonder if they tried and they either didn't like who they auditioned, or nobody wanted to take the role because they maybe felt Majors was fired wrongly. That's the only thing I could think of. So maybe the actors were like, yeah, nah, we don't want to do it. Or the third one is that he was so good in it, nobody wants to try and do that, take over that role. I don't know.
We only got a taste of it in Loki.
Yeah, and then in Ant-Man, we got a bigger version, which was the better version for me. I loved him in Quantumania. That's the only part of the movie I liked.
Yeah, he really kicked the crap out of him.
So I was bummed when the whole thing happened. But that's the only thing I can think of. Why I agree with you. They should have recast him. There's plenty of actors out there that could have done the job if they wanted it. That's the only other thing I think of, that none of them wanted to take on the role. So
It's just weird. I don't know.
this is what we're getting. And I don't even know what Secret Wars now. Is he supposed to be in that too?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. But
I don't even know. So obviously this has been a hot topic of conversation. We were talking about it today in the group. So, and I think it seems like more people agree with you. I'm just kind of in a wait and see mode right now to what's going to happen. But it's going to be really hard for me to watch him as Victor Von Doom if I see his face.
yeah, I don't, whatever.
That's the only thing I want to say.
I'm starting to check out on the MCU, man. They're doing a lot of weird things.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. No one has to, you don't have to keep watching if you don't want to.
Yeah, like I don't know.
And I know the other news I'm sure you were thrilled about as well. The Russo brothers coming back to direct the movies. I'm sure.
Yeah, that's really interested now.
Well, the good thing is,
it took me 3 years to finally sit down and watch Endgame.
I know, but the good thing is the same writers for those two films is coming back to do the Avengers one. So at least the writing is consistent with these guys as well. So that's what I agree with you. Like I even said this last week on the show. In this world, they're fine, but outside of this world, they've done nothing of note that I've liked. So,
all right,
we'll
see. I hope they know what they're doing. I kind of don't want them to know what they're doing, but I also don't want them to ruin Doctor Doom again.
I know. That it is the weird thing that they haven't been able to get the Fantastic Four world correct yet.
Also, and since we're talking about Feige and Marvel and everything, there's no plans for the X-Men, that we know of, right?
Right. But there was never plans for them.
But Deadpool and Wolverine didn't lead to anything. There's no real, it just, I was like, that's another thing I was kind of disappointed about with the movie. I thought there would be some kind of X-Men tease at least, but there's nothing.
I think that's next after this whole thing. Unless they throw it in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, but I don't know. So we will see. So Kevin Feige did speak about Blade, which we know has been in production hell. So he did speak about it. And he said this: for the last 2 years, we've been trying to crack that movie. The most important thing for us is not rushing it and making sure we are making the right Blade movie. Because there were great Blade movies years ago, they were all R-rated. So I think, like Deadpool, inherent with the character of Blade. So.
Yeah, that sounds right. But how come this movie keeps getting rewritten?
I know. I feel like now would be a good time for it, since we just saw Wesley Snipes in Deadpool and Wolverine. Would have been a good time to have some kind of announcement.
It seems like he was trolling Marvel. He's like, "There's one Blade. There's only be one Blade." I was like, "Okay, all right, Wesley."
Yep. Oh, I just ruined again. So I said to fast forward. You might need to fast forward a little more.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that. Anyway, but most of the people I think who were probably spoiled already. So it is what it is. Honestly, I'm just being honest.
Sorry.
Sorry, guys. Yes, my fault. So, anything else, Pete, come out from Comic-Con that we haven't talked about, at least from Marvel? I don't think so.
To be honest with you, I think this is really it. The way Twitter seemed, it made it seem like Marvel had this amazing. I was like, this was the big thing. I feel kind of underwhelmed because I was more disappointed about this news than anything else.
They did give apparently some footage from Fantastic Four,
good.
Yeah, teaser footage from that. I haven't seen it yet, but I heard that as well. I will, but that's the one thing, at least, that is a brand new group of actors taking on those characters again. So I'm still excited.
Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe. But I'm actually excited for that still. I want to see this movie. Hopefully they get it right. The whole concept of it sounds interesting. It's like a 60s based movie, but not in our Earth, some other one. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah, more multiverse, great.
Yeah, this story is gonna end the multiverse, so that's what they're doing. I don't know. That's why I think the Doctor Doom is a variant of Tony Stark, but that's for another time. Okay, where am I going? I forgot. All right.
Goldsman's in charge.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, refocused. There we go. So there is something else that did come out of Comic-Con. There apparently was exclusive Friday the 13th merchandise that they sold at Comic-Con.
That's good because they keep fighting over the legal rights for the movie. So
yes, and apparently it's going to be a whole bunch of things. Remember, they're doing entertainment and games and kind of like the DCU, the new DCU. It's
Mhm.
gonna be a completely immersive experience. So apparently they had some merchandise there. I saw they had some images of some of the stuff that they were selling, some pins. Looks pretty cool. Some toys that they had. Do you own any Jason
I
toys?
have some Jason. I have a couple Jason figures from like part 3, part 6.
Yeah.
And then I took. I used what's it called? I took one. I've got one of those Star Wars figures from what's it called? What was that?
What?
The movie that got reshot. What was that one?
Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One. I took that girl from Rogue One and I made her a victim for Jason. So they had like a display because she looks like she kind of looks. The action figure kind of looks like she's wearing like camp clothes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I have a couple Jason figures.
All right. So this is what they did put out a little thing. They said, for decades, Jason shocked and thrilled audiences who kept coming back for more. We're excited to work with Victor Miller and Mark Toberoff on new projects we'll announce in the coming months.
All right, I hope it's decent.
Yeah, because they just killed that Crystal Lake show, right? So
Makes it seem like nothing's ever going to happen.
I know.
Meanwhile, Thor's going to have his 7th movie.
But you can get merch. You can get, well, if you're talking about how many movies, Jason's had plenty of those.
That's true, but they were all they were all 20 years ago.
That is also true.
Back then, they came out like every year. There was one a year.
Yeah, I know.
They made them very fast.
I know. So let's switch houses a little bit because we of course have some DC news as well. The biggest one was the classic logo that is coming back. So what did you think of that? The old bullet logo.
It's definitely my favorite logo.
Yeah.
It's definitely the best logo. I didn't hate the current logo, but I'm excited. I think it's cool. I'm glad that Gunn brought it back, and I'm glad they're going to bring. I think it's back everywhere now. I think that's just the logo now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. It's definitely my favorite logo. So it's the logo from my childhood.
Yeah, mine too. It's the logo I remember the most. So Jim Lee, who's obviously the president and publisher, DC's lead president and publisher, released a little quote, and he said, "Definity for the me and many generations of fans, that particular logo defined DC in its heyday." Jim Lee and friends. He said this at Comic-Con. Sorry. So yeah. So
All right, I'm down. Bring it back, baby.
Yeah. And Safran also released a little quote. "We love the simplicity of the MGM Lion. What are the elements that we have for something like that?" And Superman felt like that for DC. So they also had that little Superman graphic that came out.
Yeah.
So that's what they threw out there as well. So yeah, a lot of retro with the DC stuff as well. So
trying
it'll be
to
fun.
bring back that good mojo.
Yeah, they definitely are. It seems like their presence was small at Comic-Con.
Well, James Gunn did not go to Comic-Con this year. He was, which is cool,
Yep. But he
it
did.
just makes you appreciate Matt Reeves, right? He got that Comic-Con footage out that one year, and they filmed like a third of the movie. Just like, hey, I appreciated that. That was cool.
Yep, that's true. But James Gunn did make an appearance just on screen, and it was to release the teaser of Creature Commandos. Now, I'm anticipating this, so I'll keep my comments for second. You go first. You lead with this.
It looked cool. It looked like a really just kind of zany cartoon. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to watch it. I've got to watch My Adventures with Superman. I still have not caught up with that cartoon first. So I got to get there. And then Cape Crusaders coming out very shortly.
Right.
So that's probably going to be my priority, but I'll end up checking this out. It looked interesting. Just got to fit it in the schedule.
Yeah, you hear Waller talking and Captain Flag talking as well. And obviously Viola Davis's voice I clearly could make out, but that
Yep,
did not
yep.
sound like Grillo to me at all.
No,
Right?
did not. So,
Yeah.
but Viola Davis, yeah, definitely was like, oh, okay, there we go. That's the connective tissue there.
Yep. I thought it was good. Uh I definitely am looking forward to it now that it was kind of funny a little bit as well. More so I have a little bit more of what I'm going to get. I like the art style that they're doing with it, so I thought it was a very good teaser to definitely get people like me who want to see it a little bit more invested. So I'm definitely looking forward to this a little bit more now. But yeah, guys, we're finally getting something from the DCU. Uh, is that what it's called, or DC Films? I don't know. I have no idea.
It's the new DCU for me.
Okay, I had no idea what they officially calling it. I thought it might have been DC Films, but
Holzman Worldwide.
that would be a fun title.
Yeah.
I'd be
Welcome
happy
to
with
the
it.
newest Holzman Worldwide movie, Batman.
I would be cool with that. I definitely would be cool with that. So there was another panel at Comic-Con hosted by Steve Weintraub from Collider. And Akiva Goldsman was one of the guys on the panel, and he spoke about the Schumacher cut, and he said, yes, it actually does exist.
They do exist.
Yes. So,
yeah, I'm just waiting for it to be released.
well, apparently it was going to be, and there was talks about it before they sold last time. And then when the sale happened, it kind of got put on the back burner. So,
oh, so you're telling me it's Zaslav's fault?
it does sound like it. It definitely does sound like it's his fault. But Goldsman went on to say, obviously, it was darker. Bruce was haunted by his past. He felt guilt. It's all the stuff you read. None of it that is mysterious. It was a more modern interpretation of the narrative, and what's not dissimilar to those stories that we sort of caught up with now. He said he's seen it, and it was put back together. And they still, obviously, this is what we heard about the Snyder Cut as well, that they would have to obviously do some effects and clean it up a little bit. But he says once the new DC world is moving forward, I will bat my eyes with everybody again and see if once more we can answer that.
It'd be cool to see. It would be cool to see. Are you going to send any death threats out for this one?
I didn't send any death threats out for the last one.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I know you're a big Snyder guy, so.
Oh yeah, the biggest.
Yeah.
The biggest.
You and old peanut butter just hanging out watching Zaddy movies.
Very funny.
I'm glad you enjoyed that one.
Yes.
Holzman and old peanut butter just watching that on their Zaddy movies. Like Rebel Moon, the director's cut, just hanging out with old peanut butter watching Rebel Moon. Are you gonna? Will you indulge in Rebel Moon director's cut? By the way,
no, I will not.
Holzman, I think you got to.
I didn't indulge in the
and
the theatrical cut.
What you missed, sir, was probably the most succulent spam you've ever witnessed. I'll tell you that. You know what?
Possibly. I definitely would.
Anthony Hopkins is he's in that movie.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He wanted a little extra money, so
he plays Robo G.I. Joe.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
I saw that much. I didn't see that much.
Rebel Moon, baby. Rebel Moon.
So I know a movie that we're both looking forward to is the new Joker film.
Ooh, Joker.
So Lady Gaga actually spoke recently about her singing in this, because as we know, if you don't know, she's a classically trained singer. She's a pop star, but yes, she went to Juilliard school and all that stuff. So she's very much
Juilliard. That's how we pronounce it down on the east side. Juilliard.
And she says this. People know my stage name is Lady Gaga, right? That's me as that performer. But that is not what this movie is. I'm playing a character. So I worked a lot on the way that I sang to come from Lee and to not come from me as a performer. She went on to say, how do you take music and just have it be an extension of the dialogue as opposed to breaking into song for no conceivable reason. She said that's how movie was done, and it was unlike anything she's ever done before.
Gaga's a thespian. She knows what she's doing.
Of course.
I trust her.
Yeah.
I'm
She
ready.
says there's,
Dude, I'm so ready for this.
yeah. I mean, she says there's plenty of bum notes that she's hit, and she's a trained singer, so it was weird for her to hear it. But she says she didn't want, obviously, this character is not a trained singer, so she wanted it to be more authentic to what this character probably would sound like.
Like Gaga, man, I'm like a closet Gaga fan. I've loved her since Let's Go Poker Face, right? Oh man, I'm so pumped for this. I'm gonna watch A Star Is Born and Joker to prep for this. That's really kind of what my homework's gonna be. You know, even though she's got a scene, my buddy Luca likes to point this out. She makes an appearance in Sopranos when AJ is throwing trophies into the pool. She's one of the girls on the bleachers.
That's true.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I'll watch that too. Give me an excuse to watch Sopranos. I'll watch it. Suck it, Kowalski.
And those of you who are thinking this is going to be traditional Harley Quinn, not exactly. This is what Scott Phillips said when he was asked that question. While there are some things that people would find familiar in her, it's really Gaga's own interpretation, and Scott Silver, the co-writer, and Phillips's interpretation. She became the way how Charles Manson had girls that idolized him, the way that sometimes these imprisoned murderers have people that look up to him. There are things about Harley in the movie that were taken from the comic books, but we took it and molded it to the way we wanted it to be. So
I'm down, man. I'm down. I really am.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm more in line with, honestly, with what the Joker's doing than what some of these other comic book movies are. Like it's just focused, man. Like they're just focused on this Joker chaos. Is it real? Shutter Island, you know, like
right? Yeah,
I'm all in on it. Like it's just, you guys know what you want to be. There's not a whole lot of shoving this, that, and the other thing in there because we need you guys to know, you know, what's coming next or what might be coming forward. It's just focused, and I appreciate that. You know, it's also like it's a small scale, man. Like I don't need everyone to save the universe. I don't need everyone to save the world. You could just, you know, a burning building's good. You know, a jewelry store's fine. A serial killer, you know, something's. I don't need these big events anymore, man. Like I really would like superhero movies to go back to smaller scale superhero telling, like more focus superhero stories. That's really what I'm trying to get at. You know, like
it depends on the character, like who we're talking about here. But yeah, I think if you're telling a story about a specific hero, it should be a contained thing for that hero. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but as for Joker, don't ever expect to see him become the Joker that we're all used to. Todd Phillips was explained in an interview with Empire that he says we would never do that because Arthur clearly is not a criminal mastermind. He was never that. Arthur has become this symbol to people, this unwilling, unwitting symbol now paying for the crimes of the first film, but at the same time finding the only thing he ever wanted, which was love. That's always what he's been about, even though he's been pushed and pulled in all these directions. So he just tried to make the most pure version of that. So I know this is a problem for some people out there, that how could we have this character, Joker, in Gotham City?
He's not
with
the
no
real
Batman?
Joker.
Right. Yeah. I know it's a problem, but get over it. That's what I'm going to say.
I just accept it for what it is.
Yeah. If you're going to want to enjoy this movie, and if you like the first one, just go with the story they're telling. I mean, we don't.
I honestly don't. I think this is it. I can't see how. I mean, when I said that about the last one, like I can't see how Todd Phillips, even without seeing the movie, can do something like this again, unless he's just got the creative juices flowing. Because it's just, these are so unique. You know, these films, especially this one, factoring in musical, it makes it even more unique. So, like, unless Phillips is really up in his game, I'm like, I don't know how he tops this. And I haven't even seen the movie yet, to be honest.
I know.
You know, like, that's how hyped I am.
I know.
I should be hyped for this movie. It's like you said, it's Joker with no Batman. But it's good. I think that's the big difference, man. It's just good. That's why we say make good movies. You got to make, you know, but, you know, And hey, look, I don't like Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's just making a killing. So you got to make
Yeah.
what the GA likes.
It's true. And Joaquin Phoenix traditionally doesn't do sequels. So the fact that he came back for this film, that's telling to me.
Oh man, got paid.
So yeah, yes, he definitely got paid.
Mm-hmm.
But it's telling because he's very much more of the Artur type of actor, as we know.
Which is crazy because like I thought he would be in Rebel Moon.
I don't think Zach gave him enough money. He could have played that crazy bad guy, the bald dude, whatever his name was. I don't know. I didn't watch enough of the movie, but he could have definitely played that character.
Or the giant spider thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But wasn't she female? That was female.
I don't know. It's a spider. Oh my God.
Well, you don't know, but I know what you did last summer.
I did a whole lot of nothing.
Huh?
I did a whole lot of nothing.
Yes, but we did a couple shows ago talk about a reboot coming for I Know What You Did Last Summer. And we have casting to announce.
Nice.
Camila Mendes and Madeline Klein will be cast in the film. Again, we don't know anything about who they're playing, but they will be cast. I don't know who either one of them are, so I'm not even going to sit here and act like I do.
I would imagine they are very attractive ladies.
Usually in horror films, you do get those.
Yeah, buddy.
So I would be,
The only question I have is which one of you is going to yell, "What are you waiting for?"
Well, it's possible Jennifer Love Hewitt will again, because apparently she's in talks still to come back. So both she and Freddie Prinze Jr. are in talks to come back. So if you're done with nostalgia, people, it's coming again.
This is great. I love this. I love this. I really do. I'm really happy I'm really excited for this, man. This is a kind of, it reminds me of when Scream was announced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting those vibes again. I love watching slasher movies.
Yeah, well, apparently the model for the new take comes directly from the Scream reboot.
Oh, there we go.
According
to
an
idea.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Again, I don't know these actors. Apparently, Mendes was on Riverdale. I've never watched an episode of that show, so I don't know what it's like. But
if you watched Batwoman, you would have watched the Riverdale. They were both on the CW.
Was it on after Batwoman?
I think so.
Okay.
Either or might be before. Remember, season 3 of Batwoman started at 9 mature audiences. The heyday of the DC multiverse, my friends, when Batwoman was kicking ass. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of the CW, we did get a teaser of the Superman and Lois season 4. We got a little bit of a teaser did you see it?
I did.
Yeah, of the fight between Doomsday and Superman. So,
I did not realize what they were going to do, and they did that. Very interesting. They're going to do Death of Superman again. I know. It's we're not that far away from BVS.
Are they doing that though? We didn't see that.
I believe he's dead. I believe he's dead in one of the trailers.
I did not see a dead one.
Yeah.
I only saw the action spot between them.
No, I believe Superman is dead.
Oh.
So
okay.
I'm very interested to see they're doing the Death of Superman again.
I just hope this doesn't mean that Jordan now becomes Superman, because I hate
that character. Oh, jeez.
I really hope that doesn't happen, because I am not a fan of that actor.
This is it. This is the CW finale, bro. This is the end of the CW as superhero television. Like, that's it.
You think they're gonna do the whole long-haired black suit with Hoagland?
I don't know.
Hoagland would look funny with long hair.
Would he?
You've seen him. Just picture him with long hair. You don't think I think he looked pretty weird.
I don't know.
Oh, I am sad that show is ending. I really do enjoy it.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, but when the network itself is kind of not doing those things anymore, it's kind of hard to keep that show going.
Yeah, the CW had a good run, man.
They did. They definitely did. But we also got a clip from the first clip from the Cape Crusader show.
Which was great. It's fun to see
Yes.
Batman doing some sneaky shit.
Yes, I actually enjoyed that as well. So I'm also looking forward to that show coming out.
How do you feel about Oswaldo?
Now, let me just say this.
Just say this.
Who cares? That's essentially my reaction. Why do people get so mad about this stuff?
I'm not mad about it, but I'm just kind of like, is there a reason why you guys did this? Just wondering. That's really where I'm at with it. I am a little upset. Like, I know she's a big woman, but does this mean like Batman can't punch the Penguin now? Because she's a chick? Like, I'm just being brutally honest. Like, unless she's, I don't know, taking steroids. Or maybe she's. I keep like hoping like
I don't
maybe
think
she
that
has
matters.
like a twin brother. You know?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
But I'm not really.
Minnie Driver is voicing it, so
she'll sound
voicing
sexy.
her. I called her it. Jesus, I'm going to get canceled now.
Eric Holzman. We know who he's voting for.
Oh man, no, I mean it's whatever. I don't understand why people get upset about this. They're freaking characters.
It's just weird. I don't know. For 80 years, the Penguin's been a dude. I don't know. You know, like, all right, whatever. But it's just strange.
It is.
Especially
It was.
they made,
I
they
agree
made
there.
Penguin such a big character. Like, you know, usually Penguin is a short, stocky dude. Well, they made him like a gigantic woman.
That's true.
So, you know,
That's true.
Javi had a good take on this where they wanted something so drastically different from Colin Farrell. With this coming out at the same time as the Batman and all that jazz, which I thought was interesting in itself, because when BTAS came out, they gave that Penguin a flipper because of Danny DeVito. So I was like, okay, interesting. They didn't double down like they did originally when Tim started, but you know, I'm sure they have their reasons.
Oh, and how could we forget this? We got an actual official trailer for Penguin.
Oh, I did not watch the third trailer. I didn't watch it. Yeah, dude, I'm ready to go. I'm done. I'm not watching any trailers. I'm not.
You're not gonna watch it? All right,
no, I don't need. Dude, I don't need to. But just
right.
like if it was good, talk about it. You know.
Oh, it was. Yes, it's gonna be. That show is gonna be tremendous. I have no doubt that show is going to be tremendous. You get a little bit more of Sophia in this one. Kind of does highlight her in this trailer. So, but yes,
yeah, I'm just ready to roll, bro. I really am. I am ready, dude. We've been in a little bit of Batman drought. So in order to get, I'm saying Cape Crusader, Penguin, Joker in no particular order, like we're literally like, but like you know within, you know, that's great. I'm really pumped.
Yeah, in that world, yes, that's true. So all of you out there who did watch the Penguin trailer, let me know what you thought. But man,
so it doesn't matter. The Russos could bring back. I mean, I don't know. Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, and I'm just like, whatever. We'll buy.
Why wasn't he in Deadpool and Wolverine?
To be honest with you, at some point I was expecting him to pop up, and he didn't. Which the only thing I could think of is Nick Cage just has such a bitter taste in his mouth from The Flash that he said no to this. To be honest with you,
yeah,
because he's been so negative about his experiences with The Flash.
That's true. So, yeah, I mean, well, you know how fans are. So,
but I mean, the fact that you know they brought in the New Line character over that is interesting itself.
Yes, man. They're honestly, and not to go back to that movie, but there's a lot in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Apparently, Bullseye is in the movie, and I missed him.
I didn't see Bullseye.
Yeah, so it's a Bullseye, but I mean, I was like, well, it's
Lady
not Colin
Deathstrike
Farrell.
is in it though.
She is in it. It was nice to see her.
Yeah, Lady Deathstrike is there. Yes, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of fan service, but
it's a toy chest dump.
It is, and I don't know. You said it didn't work for you, but it did work for me. So, yep.
I'm sure Kowalski's going to eat it up. It's going to be the greatest thing ever.
I think he will.
Oh, it's good. It's incredible. I was watching it eating my avocado toast. It was absolutely incredible, dude. It was absolutely amazing. It was just like Saturday morning with Ollie, just dumping the toys out there. It's so much fun.
The good thing is, no matter what you feel about the film, It's making money.
It's good for the genre.
Yes.
And I mean, I said that a long time ago. It's got seats are. I mean, I saw it midday Saturday. First showing because I want to stay away from the spoilers, Nico Caruso. And I want to stay ahead of that. So I saw it probably 12:30. Yeah, 12:30, and the theater was about half full that early.
Yeah.
A lot. But so I would imagine that a lot of people, as the night progressed, all the later evening showings were packed. But
my theater was full as well. Yeah. So,
which is more full than I can't remember the last movie I saw, to be honest with you, but there was nobody there.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is the most I've had since COVID, most attendance wise.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's really good for the genre. If you love these movies, they have to start doing well no matter what world they're in. And so the fact that this one is breaking records or is the biggest opening for an R-rated film ever, I think, or something like that. That's the other thing. It's an R-rated film.
Yeah.
So, yep. But now it's time to say goodbye. We're done with this show.
Okay. All right. Well, any complaints can go to @FinalE33 on X. If you want to follow me on Twitter, personally, that's @Pete Illustrated. This show is straight_O_G on Instagram and X. Facebook group, Facebook fan page, BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film YouTube, the Batman Book Club, @Spidey Coalition for Spider-Man. Check all that stuff out. And also, if you guys don't forget, Zaslav is now fighting with the NBA, so Eric's going to be covering that over at All Nicked Up. So he's all about Zaslav all the time
now. I've missed the last two shows that the guys did for All Nicked Up because I was traveling for work, so I haven't been on the past 2 weeks. But they've been holding me down. So,
yes. Are they Zaslav guys?
I don't even think they know who he is, to be honest.
I guess they got to start learning.
They're going to be asking me questions. Who is this guy?
Who's Zaslav?
Yeah, as Pete mentioned, All Nicked Up is the show I do about the New York Knicks every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The summertime schedule is usually not every week, but we try and do shows here and there. And then when the season picks up, we will be doing a show every week as long as we're all there. Even if we're not all there anymore, actually, the other guys will do the show. Again, Pete mentioned All Nicked Up on Twitter @all_nicked_up is the handle there. Check that out. He also mentioned my personal account. So yes, if you have any complaints, concerns, questions about Pete, you can hit me up at finally33.
Yeah, actually, lots of questions. Lots.
Finally33 on Twitter. Don't forget the rate and review contest, guys. We want to give stuff away, so get on over there, rate and review on Apple Apple Podcasts.
Go for a pass, bro.
Wherever, yeah, I know. Apple Podcasts or iTunes, wherever you listen to the show. That don't forget to do that part because we haven't given anything away in a while. So
it's been a while.
Yeah, we'd like to do that as well. Thanks again for listening. Again, we appreciate all the God, what am I going here? All the love and support. I don't know why I blanked on that, but I did. We appreciate all the love and support as always. And we're going to wrap this one up. So for Pete, I'm Eric. You're listening to Straight Outta Gotham, and we'll see you next time.
Booyah!